Up first this evening, the FBI is releasing key findings from its search of a rental home of the man who plowed into a crowd on Bourbon Street, killing 14 and injuring dozens of others. Tonight, we're learning Shamsuddin Jabbar rented a home in the St. Roch neighborhood in New Orleans. The feds saying just before the attack, he set a small fire in the hallway of that home in hopes of destroying evidence. The fire, however, burned out before spreading to other rooms. And federal agents were able to recover chemicals in that home that could have been used to make bombs. They also discovered a homemade device that may have been a crude silencer for a rifle.
And tonight we're learning the same type of precursor chemicals that were found in the New Orleans Airbnb were also found in his home in North Harris County. We want to get straight out to Victor Jacobo, who is live outside that home with the brand new details. Victor?
Yeah, Trayson, that's right. Those chemicals found in the property that's located behind me. The FBI did not elaborate on the specifics of those chemicals, but experts explained to us that those precursor chemicals alone may not be dangerous, but when combined can be used for making an explosive device. I spoke earlier today with James Conway. He's a former FBI agent and counterterrorism expert. He explained to me why gathering this evidence here and at other crime scenes is important, not just for this investigation, but future ones as well.
They're going to look and see what kind of precursors, is it more deadly? Where are they getting it from? And then not only from a preventative standpoint, but then law enforcement, they're going to then start tracking the trends of those sales.
Now, earlier today, we also saw a vehicle being towed away from the home. Records reviewed by KHOU 11 tie that car to the mother of the suspected attacker. We are also learning new information about the time leading up to the attack. Law enforcement officials telling the Associated Press that Shamsuddin Jabbar purchased a cooler at a store in Texas hours before the attack on Bourbon Street. You'll recall he placed 2 homemade bombs in coolers near the scene of the attack. On top of that, our sister station in New Orleans, WWL-TV, learning today of an audio recording made nearly a year ago in which Jabbar expressed extremist views that things like drugs, sex, and music were evil and deserving of destruction. That could be key to learning his motive. Now, another development today we learned from law enforcement sources. They say that Jabbar appears to have actually reserved the rental used in the attack of a vehicle of the Ford F-150 back in November, raising new questions about just how long he had planned this attack. Now, reporting live in North Harris County, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
The attack, it left 14 innocent people dead, 11 whom have been identified. And tonight we're hearing from some of their family members.
It comes as a memorial grows on Bourbon Street. Our Matt Doherty is live in New Orleans. And Matt, in the last hour, some of the victims' families actually showed up there where you are.
Yeah, that's right. The family members of Hubert Gautreaux, who's 21 years old, he was 21 years old when he was killed here on Bourbon Street, showed up here. They walked about 5 blocks down that direction, stopped at the spot where he was killed, and they walked back and they started to pray at that memorial that you see right there behind me. Tonight we're hearing from the family members of Tiger Betch. He's the 29-year-old former football player who died a short time after the attack.
That was my best friend, my role model.
Jack Besh's older brother Martin, also known as Tiger, died in a New Orleans hospital after the New Year's Day attack.
Yesterday was the hardest day of my life, and now each day on will be the hardest day of my life.
The 29-year-old former Princeton University football player was originally from Lafayette. Jack says his older brother was back in town from New York with his best friend to celebrate on Bourbon Street.
All the smiles and the fun and the good people of Louisiana, and nobody thought it would ever end the way it did.
Tiger Besh is one of the 14 now dead after 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar used his pickup truck to kill and injure visitors on Bourbon Street Wednesday morning. Jack says his brother was on life support when he told him goodbye over FaceTime.
His eyes were closed and he was on a machine, but I know he could hear us. God kept his heartbeat beating for a reason, and I believe it was so that me and my family could tell him goodbye.
A formal vigil is planned to take place here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Monday. President Biden is expected to come to visit and pay his respects. Back to you.
Saying goodbye to the ones you love. We can't even begin to imagine what they're all going through. Matt, thank you for taking such care in telling their story. And while families grieve, the investigation, it continues. The FBI has opened a new digital media tip line for anyone to submit info, photos, or videos of the incident. If you know anything, you can visit fbi.go/bourbon-street-attack or call the number on your screen.